Welcome back to the 8:30 show. If you like our content, please feel free to like and subscribe. Welcome back. It's 2024. Happy New Year. I
Happy New
hope you all
Year.
had a great Christmas. I know we did.
Yeah, Christmas and New Year.
Yes, it was wonderful. I'm grateful to have another year on this planet. Um 2024 started off with a bang with Katt Williams. Katt Williams went on Club Shay Shay and did not give a fuck. He said what he said, and that's what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, I watched it. We watched it,
yeah,
and yeah, he was he was saying some shit.
yeah,
The things he was saying, it blew my mind. I was just like, it was for me, it was jaw dropping because I don't know about these relationships that they have and, all of that. Like, I don't know. And you
mhm.
listen to other podcasts, and I think you get wind of stuff more than I do.
I do, but as far as the inner workings, because a lot of that was about comedy and the comedians, the behind the curtain of comedians and comic life, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
Um, and the movie Friday After Next, that's kind of where a lot of it is.
That's one of my favorite Christmas movies.
That is my favorite Christmas
It's not
movie.
my favorite, it's one of.
Um,
But it's Money Mike. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. He
let me check my Palm Pilot. Pimp of
I
Distress.
I loved him in that. He played a great part. He
Yeah.
played a great part, and listening to him talk about it, and then Ice Cube came out yesterday basically co-signing to what he's a lot of the stuff he said
Hmm.
when he was on Club Shay Shay. And yeah, it was interesting to know that the part was very small and that Katt Williams brought the magic and they expanded the role, and they did a great job in expanding the role. He did a great job as Money Mike, and whatever, add-ins that he put on it,
Hmm.
that was great. To me, that's a great Christmas movie.
Yeah. The That's the very first time I've ever seen Cat Williams. I didn't see him on Comic View, but I believe at the time that he was on Comic View, I no longer watched Comic View.
Mm,
Um, no slight to Comic View. It's just I wasn't watching Comic View like that anymore. It was
yeah.
just kind of for me. It was kind of past his prime, you know.
Yeah.
Same with like Def Comedy. I didn't know he was on there as well. But after Martin, I think that's when I kind of stopped watching it when Martin wasn't hosting anymore.
Yeah.
Um, Not that it was a bad show. Still, it's just for me, it was it kind of it lost it lost its legs, you
No,
know.
I get that.
And so for me, that was kind of interesting that he had mentioned that he was on Comic
He
View.
was calling motherfuckers out.
Oh yeah, left and
He
right,
was calling, and I
and had
I
receipts
I
apparently.
even said something to you yesterday, and I was like, out of all of the comedians that he called out, he didn't say anything about Mike Epps. And then Mike Epps came out today clowning about it, talking
Yeah.
shit. But, he's like, say my name. I need some publicity. It was hilarious. It was pretty funny.
Well,
But yeah,
I think a lot of I think the comedians that he called out, I think he has had beef with because he didn't speak ill on Ice Cube.
no, he didn't.
He really didn't speak ill on Chris Tucker. Only thing that he really said about Chris Tucker, which I think we all know, is he's no longer the character Smokey. You know what I mean? And he mentioned that why would Chris Rock's not Chris Rock. Chris Tucker is not that type of person that endorses um, weed smoking.
Yeah.
So why would he continue to play that role? And that makes sense. It didn't sound like a slight in that regard. It kind of sounds like that's who Chris Tucker is now. He's not Smokey,
No, I get that because okay, so let me
and
put
as
this.
Michael Jackson called him, Christmas.
Um, there was someone that I felt like that towards. It was Lorenz Tate. Everybody was like, in Menace to Society, he was the shit.
Yeah.
He played the fuck out of that role. And then he went and did what was the name of that movie? Was it The Inkwell?
Yeah, he
Or
did the Inkwell. Then he
yeah,
did
and
Dead Presidents
everybody
around
was
that
like,
time.
no, but when he did The Inkwell, everybody's like, what the fuck is this?
That ain't
Like,
old dog.
yeah, that's some, and a lot of people were people that I knew were disappointed in seeing him in that role because he had just played Menace to Society and he played it so well. You really thought he was that person. That's how well it
That
was
was old dog.
played. Yeah. So I get that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, um you want to keep it going, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And strike while the iron's hot
Yeah.
type of thing, and that's one of the things I'm about to talk about, a different movie, Bridesmaids. I thought there should have been a second one. I would have loved to seen a second Bridesmaids because it was hilarious. I feel like a lot of people thought it was funny, but Kristen Wiig didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I guess she didn't want to be typecast, and I get that people get typecast, but I mean, why not? Like, it was great. It was so good, and I would have loved to have seen like her and all of the cast back in with someone else getting married. Melissa McCarthy's character when she met her actual husband, her real husband, and that would have been part 2 for me, but what the fuck do I know?
Well, I think sometimes you can't go back because some of these people in not only just Bridesmaids but in Fridays, that movie, these some of these people went on to bigger and better things. Chris Tucker, he left and went on to be um, kind of an A-list actor
No,
when he
for
started
sure.
doing Rush Hour, Money Talks, all
But
these movies. But I'm
uh-huh.
saying I think that at that point it may be a scheduling thing. You know what I mean? And they got the budget to go now and not later. Who was that? Bo
That's your
Barkin?
child.
Yeah.
Yeah, he out there
Um,
tripping.
but like I was saying,
That's us right there. He's barking.
like I was saying, some of these things they can't go back and do right away, and they're trying. And I'm sure the studios and with Fridays, Ice Cube is trying to get it going as soon as possible. And to me, I think that Mike Epps was a good
No,
addition to the
absolutely.
cast.
I love Day Day. He
Yeah,
was man,
Debo Lottie
but
got more head
still,
than he got body.
I these are you want to see that.
Yeah,
That's the kind of shit me, the audience, I want to see that, but they're doing what if I'm in the same boat, I guess I'd probably do the same thing. But I feel like I would want to go back to what started me,
no,
to what gave me that jump in my career,
yeah,
because I'd never seen Chris Tucker in shit before Friday.
I saw him on Def Comedy
Again, I didn't see him on
Jam.
shit. You saw him, I didn't.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? We live in, you and I live in different worlds.
mm,
You live in the black community, I live in the Hispanic community adjacent the black community because that's how I grew up, right?
yeah.
I grew up in a mixed Hispanic and black community. So I didn't get the full,
No, I get that.
so I didn't see him in that. That was the first time I seen him. I saw Friday in the theater. That's how old I am, and I loved it. It was fucking amazing. It was such a great movie and such a good idea. And yeah, I would have liked to have seen him in maybe not the second, but third or whatever.
Well,
A cameo, something, but
yeah.
nothing.
Well, I think that's what they were trying to do with the last Friday that they were trying to do, whatever they were going to call
And I
it.
have to say this about Chris Tucker. Not trying to shit on him by saying that, but um he was amazing as Ruby Rod. He was phenomenal. I cannot imagine anyone, there's no one that could play that role. It was
Yeah.
written for him and he gave it 110 fucking percent. I loved him that's one of my
Yeah.
go-to default movies. I have a list of default movies that I always go back to, and that's one of them. And it's, yes, I love Bruce Willis for sure. Um what's her name? I can't remember her name.
Mila Jovovich,
Mila Jovovich, love her
whatever her
too.
name is.
Yeah,
But anyway,
but yeah, Chris Tucker, he really he added to that movie.
well, I am going to say this in regards to that role. What Chris Tucker did, I think he did a phenomenal job in Fifth Element.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, now looking at it, I think Cat Williams could have played that character as well.
Man, get the fuck out of
I
here.
do. I do.
Man.
This is why I
Don't
say
don't
that.
no
No,
no.
no, 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 no. Hear me out. Hear me
I'm
out.
gonna hear you out.
Hear me out.
I'm gonna give you a little
So
2 seconds.
Chris Tucker
1 2.
said that that role, the inspiration behind that role that the studios presented to him was he was supposed to be basically a space prince.
Okay.
The It was based off of Prince. I think Cat could probably pull that off. I don't know that if it will be as good as Chris Tucker's, but I think he could probably do it.
Well,
But Chris Tucker, I think he did a great job. As far as the doing another Fridays at this point in time, I don't know if I really want to watch it because too many of the cast who I feel were critical parts
yeah.
aren't there anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
Like we don't have Debo no more. We don't have John Witherspoon no more. Even the girl from the first Friday movie,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
who they were like Janet Jackson coming.
More like Freddie Jackson.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
not. She's
No, I
not
know
there.
she
She's not
passed
here
away.
anyway.
No, I get it.
So Bernie
Bernie
Mac's
Mac.
not
Yeah.
here. So I would have liked to have gotten a Friday with some of those original people from the movie in there, and
Yeah.
mainly John Witherspoon. If they did a new Friday, they would have to address his death, and I don't know if I want to have that in the movie. Like I don't
Well,
mind, but
just like it ain't up to me, it ain't up to you.
exactly, and I will support it regardless of it because for me, Fridays was a movie that I saw in my childhood, and I continued seeing it because they continued doing it, and each one I did like. I mean, the second one with
How the
Mike
fuck
Epps.
old were you? Because you had to have been 18, because I was 16 when I watched
Yeah,
it.
I was 18.
You made it seem like you was like you were 10.
No, but it's still my childhood. I was still a teenager, just barely graduated high school. But it's one of those movies that they kept going, and I have fond memories of the original Friday. Now I didn't see it in the theaters. I saw it on bootleg.
I didn't know I was going to watch it. I had just come back from about a year off from my family. And I came back, and my cousins were like, we're gonna go watch a movie. You want to go? And I told my mom. My mom was like, sure, here's some money. So I was 16 years old,
When
and
$20 could get you in a movie and
for
have
real,
snacks and all that stuff.
yep. And we went, and it was my brother and his girlfriend at the time, and my cousin Ron and his
Significant
future, no,
other.
future, was it a future baby mama? No, she was baby mama already at that point. And yeah, we went to go watch it. It was fucking hilarious, and I loved it. And then when it came out on pay-per-view, we watched that shit all the time. And
Yeah.
then I told my sister about it. My sister doesn't watch that kind of shit. She grew up different, and she was like, "All right, we'll watch it." And she was with what's his face, and they watch, and I just hear him laughing the whole time.
So it was a good movie. It was a good movie.
It
The
was a great
second the
movie.
second one was good. Not as
Yeah.
great as the first one, but it was just as good. And then I feel like the third one, um, I feel like in the second one people were disappointed because Chris Tucker wasn't in it,
Yes.
and so it wasn't as good. It was still a good movie, just it didn't have that extra that you were looking for a Friday movie. And then what?
Yeah. Sorry.
And and then on the third one, I think it came full circle, and
Yeah.
I feel like Mike Epps had his timing, everything was gelling, and it was a good movie. Like the intro scene. Now, here's why I want to delve back to the Club Shay Shay Cat Williams, where he talked about Rickey Smiley, and that Rickey
I knew you were
Smiley.
gonna talk about Ricky Smiley.
Well, because the beginning of the Friday movie, the third one,
He's
he's in the beginning of the movie.
crackhead Santa.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
he's in the title credits
yeah.
as the crackhead Santa, and Ricky Smiley saying he was supposed to play Katt Williams' character Money Mike. I just can't see it. I mean, I could see it
Okay.
if Cat didn't do such a phenomenal job with that role.
Yeah.
I could see it, but because he did such a phenomenal job in that role, I can't see anybody else playing that character. It's like I can't see anybody else playing Pinky, but Pinky. I don't even know the actor's name who played Pinky, but
Clifton Powell.
yeah, I can't see nobody else playing that
I
role.
love him, by the way. The only reason I know his name, I follow him on Instagram, and it's because of Pinky that I
Yeah,
looked for him and I follow him.
and yeah,
And I seen him at the Laugh Factory. Was it the Laugh Factory?
one of those.
Yeah,
Laugh
no, I
Factor.
think it was the Laugh Factory. We went to Laugh Factory and he was out there, and we made eye contact.
It's Pinky, nigga. It's Pinky. Who sent you? What day they at Roach? But anyway, I can't see, and he had a small role.
Yeah,
But
he
his role
did.
was so significant in the story
Yeah.
that they had to bring him back on the third one. It was still Pinky. I
Do
couldn't.
you know that he was on Murder She Wrote?
I don't doubt it. Clifton Powell's had a long history. I
Yeah.
mean, this man's been acting since I was a child, as far
Yeah.
as I can remember. And when I mean child, I mean like in a teenager, young
Mhm.
teenager. He's been around.
Yeah.
He was in Menace to
I
Society.
know. He was Chauncey.
Yeah.
He was Chauncey. Yeah.
So he's been around the block for a while.
Yes.
So yes, I did enjoy him play his role, and like I
Yeah.
said, some people I just can't see other people playing it.
No, for sure. I agree with that.
And I can see someone else playing the crackhead Santa.
Yes.
Um,
Anybody could have played that, to
Ricky,
be honest
yeah,
with
Ricky
you.
Smiley did a good job with it, but it wasn't so standout that I was like, oh yeah, nobody could play that crackhead like he did.
I Ricky Smiley, I know who he is. I don't look for him. Not
Yeah,
not throwing shade or nothing like that. Just don't look for him. The character he plays as a woman, I don't care for it. It's kind of annoying to me. I but that's just me. That's
yeah,
me. A lot of people love him. He just came out with a video. He leaked a video. I want to say leaked because I can't imagine why anyone would post themselves crying on on camera and then upload it
yeah. It didn't make sense. I saw people in the comments were saying it's because he lost his son and other people
a year
last
ago,
year.
which is horrible. I'm sorry that he
Yeah,
did.
that's a horrible affair. But why post it? Like if you were gonna record and then making your coffee and then whatever it just
I
came
mean, I could
upon
see
you.
live. He's live making his coffee, and all of a sudden you break down and start crying.
That's what I'm saying.
You
Like
know,
I can
live,
even
but recorded and then upload.
yeah.
That's why I call it leaked. What if somebody leaked that shit? Like, why would I put myself out there? Like, that's a
Yeah.
private fucking moment.
But I'm
Why the fuck
saying,
are you posting that shit up for other people to see? Like, that's crazy to me. But I don't, like I said, it might be leaked.
but
I
that
don't know if he did it.
but that's what I'm saying. Like regardless of who did it or who if he did it or not, it doesn't even matter. Um, I can understand why he would cry on camera if he was going on camera to do something else, to say something, probably talk about the backlash that's been going back and forth with him and Cat Williams over the interview
Yeah.
that he did. So
Oh,
I can
yeah.
see him doing that, and then all of a sudden, whatever it is comes upon him and breaks him down. I get it, but why post it? Regardless if he posted it or not, why didn't he take it down immediately?
Mm,
So
I
that's
just,
hey,
my opinion is if somebody posts something like that, it's for attention. That's my opinion about that. It's the
exactly.
the only reason you would post something like that is because you want people to feel sorry for you. That's why I said it. That's why I called it leaked, because
But
I can't imagine this grown adult man posting a video of him crying like that.
off
Like he
camera,
was crying, you could hear him
yeah.
sobbing. And
Hmm.
I can't imagine a grown man posting that video. Like, why would you put up something so vulnerable? But then again, I scroll through TikToks watching girls crying over I don't know what the
Yeah.
fuck, So I don't know, but I keep saying leaked because what if he didn't do that?
Well, if
You
he
know,
didn't do it, why is it still up? I mean, attention seeking is an addiction.
it is.
So
I guess,
you
yeah.
know, I don't know what his intentions were. I don't know what his intentions are as far as that video goes. What he was trying to do. Like I said, I want to look at the better side of humanity, and I want to say that he initially was going to go and talk and discuss about this Cat Williams, and then whatever came upon him, and he broke down. Why still post it? I don't know why he would do that. To me, it's lame and it seems like attention seeking.
I agree. I
Unless he was
agree.
crying that his career now is hurt and damaged because Cat Williams flambéed him on Club Shay Shay.
Yeah. That was, yeah, he came
Cause
for
cause
what's his
Cat
name?
was up,
Steve Harvey. He
yeah,
talked about that was a
Mister
man piece.
Mister
Oh,
Potato
Mr.
Head
Potato Head
with the flat top
stealing
hairpiece.
jokes. And yeah, he didn't want to be a movie star. He,
Yeah, bullshit. I call
yeah.
bullshit. I not on Cat Williams. I call bullshit on that's Steve's
Or
response.
if that was the excuse he gave, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Now
Uh,
I want to cut you off real quick because I want to spin back to the whole joke stealing,
all right.
and I want to. He mentioned that
And let me tell you, the internet is relentless.
it's undefeated. You can't
Fuck
defeat the
yeah.
internet.
They were coming. I am watching fucking videos of people who did these jokes before they Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, and it's crazy how the internet is
Yeah.
unmotherfucking defeated. They came through with the fucking receipts. Jesus.
So so one of them
Way to
was
go, internet.
that Cedric the Entertainer did a similar premise and similar joke to Cat Williams, and Cat was saying, "Hey, I did this on Comic View and blah blah blah, and it was part of the commercial." Now I've seen both jokes. They are similar. They're very similar, and he's right. He all that's difference is his is a car and the other one's a spaceship. Um, do I think he stole a joke? I don't know if that's. I'm not a comedian, so I don't know if that's stealing the joke.
Yeah.
I've listened to other comedians talk about how people steal jokes, and sometimes it's not that they actually stole the joke. Sometimes it's just the same premise because of like-minded thinking. But this is where it changes for me when Cat Williams said that he went and saw his set and then came and talked to him afterwards. That to me lets me know that no, he stole it at that point. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Um, even though the premises are the same, are similar but different, it's a little different for each one. They're both final jokes. So now when I had to side with Cat, because this is again, I've heard comedians talk about this in general that people steal jokes, and then I've heard also that sometimes it's not that they're stealing jokes, it's similar premises because it's like-minded thinking. And there was a few examples of that I heard. I forgot the comedians, and they were saying like this dude did a premise like this, I did a premise like this, and they're similar premises, and it had nothing to do with if I stole the joke that I stole the joke from them. I didn't even know that they were doing that joke. They brought it to my attention, and the comedian's like, "Well, I'll stop doing it. It's not a big deal for me because he was working out materials. It's like, not big a deal, but he was like, wasn't trying to." And he's like, "No, I get it. You know, it happens." And that's one of those things that I feel that happens a lot in comedy, that sometimes they're like-minded individuals, and sometimes I think that even though they may not see each other's work, that because they're such like-minded individuals that they think kind of similar in what's funny
No, I get
and
that.
how to make something
No,
funny.
I understand that. It's like kind of making the same type of genre of music. It's not
Yeah,
the same song, but you're in the same genre.
correct.
Yeah.
And so the song may the artistry may sound or feel or seem similar, but
Yeah, heavy
it
metal's
came from
heavy
two
metal.
yeah, it came from
You
two
got
different
Megadeth,
things.
but you got Metallica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Came from two different ethos,
You
but
got the
sound so
OJs, you
much.
got the dramatics. Like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things. But when I, like I said, when I saw the premise at first at just face value, it just looked like it was the similar premise. But then once I started really looking at it and listening to what Kat said, kind of going back and looking at it, I can see where he can feel that, yeah, he stole his joke. I would think the same thing. Like, come on now, I did this 4 or 5 years ago, and now you're doing the same
He
fucking
was
joke.
calling them the fuck out though. Like my thing was like he was just the shit he was saying. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Cause I like
He
I
came out
said,
gun blazing.
yeah, he fucking did. And did you notice did you notice that Shannon Sharp, yes?
Yes.
Shannon Sharp, he really didn't ask him shit. He sat there listening to him almost the whole time. That's what I noticed when he asked him questions,
Hmm.
but it was like he threw him off from the beginning. From the get go, he was just like already speechless.
Well, I think Shannon was prepared with a lot of stuff to talk about, but I think the moment Kat walked in and sat down and the intro to Kat was done and that first question was asked from
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp to Cat Williams, that was the levee broke in his mind and he let it go.
Yeah, he did.
And I mean, he got his questions in here and there because
No,
he,
he
he
did.
tried to keep the conversation moving along, especially when Cat really started, punching down on these other guys. He tried to move the conversation along so it wouldn't be so bad. But I feel like this is probably something that was bottled up in Cat for a long time, and then he knows these things, and then these other comedians go on to his platform
I'm
and
so sorry.
say these things about certain things, and then because he specifically talked about Cedric the Entertainer when I guess Cedric the Entertainer was on Club Shay Shay, and he Shannon Sharp brought that up to him, and he mentions that they're not even in the same universe. You know what I mean? And if I'm Cat Williams, I'd be like, "Oh, you motherfucker! Don't worry, I'm
I'm
coming.
coming for
I'm
you.
coming, and I'm bringing all the receipts, and I don't even have to show the receipts. You can go ahead and look it up on yourself. It's all on the internet."
I like what Mike Epps said, and he was like, "We're just black men in a business that
Hmm.
isn't even run by us." Like,
Yeah,
like, and like we kind of like we should stick together, like that's kind of the vibe he was giving. Like he was talking his shit on his post, but he said some real shit too, and it's true. It's like
hmm,
anybody within their own community, they want support,
yeah,
and we should support each other, but this is not supportive, and I'm not saying that Cat Williams is not being supportive. It's that Cat Williams is calling out the non-support, you know,
yeah,
because
and
it sounds like they weren't supportive. If
yeah,
anything, they were robbing his ass, and yeah,
and I think also it has to do with a lot of people probably talking of like when Cat was going through his situations that we would see in the public's eye as far as stuff that was going on with him. You didn't see people supporting him and trying to like tell other outlets to stall him out or whatnot, and they were just egging it on, like how he
well,
mentioned.
no,
Well,
because you
well,
don't want people fucking up your shit,
well.
and you're not gonna stick your neck out for nobody. It's like me and you going to work for the same place, but I tell you, like, can you hook me up with the job? And you're like, I don't know if I want to stick my neck out for you. I know your track record. You know what I'm saying? And or so you think. Or you may not even have a track, or I may not have a track record, but you're like, I don't like the way you move, and so no.
What I meant by
And
that wasn't that. What I meant by that was these people were speaking on things that they probably didn't have the information to speak on, and it was only seeing what they were seeing online.
yeah,
Um, like he had mentioned all his arrests that he had, and how all that stuff kind of blew
Oh,
over.
sorry.
The only thing that I really thought was hilarious was when he fought the kid. And I know the kid was the same size as him in the same weight class as him, but he was looking like he was getting the bad end of that stick. But regardless of that, if this is your comedic homeboy, this you guys roll together, you guys, he's looked out for you, you've looked out for him, and now you're in front of a camera, and someone asks you about this man. If you don't have anything to say that's gonna, you know,
Yeah.
be positive, why are you speaking negative on him? I mean, that to me is what he was trying to reference. Like these people, all these people, they say these things about me, but yet they still want me to help them out. You know what I mean? Like they're asking me, they people are talking bad about me in the public's eye, then they ask you these questions, and then
Yeah.
you co-sign to the bullshit. And I thought we were homeboys.
Well, yeah, because when I was telling you yesterday, I was like, but didn't he have all these like arrests and
Hmm.
like, he was on drugs and shit? They were saying he was on crack and like all this crazy shit. And you were like, no, he's saying that that's what they were trying to say,
Hmm.
but that it's not true.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, it's like with Dave Chappelle. People tried to say that he was crazy because he walked away from $50 million and went to Africa, and they were saying, "Oh, he's crazy, he's crazy." I mean, they start painting this picture. When I say I'm saying these people who are, I guess, gatekeepers, the powers that be, whatever in the entertainment industry that they're in that circle with,
Yeah.
And Dave Chappelle said the same thing when he came back and did, I think he did one of those interview shows. I don't remember which one it was, and he basically said like that's what they say when they think that you're not going when you're going against the grain
Yeah.
because
You're a crackhead.
you're
You're
yeah you're on
you're
drugs, you're
unstable.
crazy.
Yeah.
When you go against the grain,
That's
you don't
crazy.
conform to how they want you to be, and so they try to tarnish your
How
image.
sad.
And I feel like that's what he was trying to say in that interview uh, with Shannon Sharp about that. And again, you know, I would feel some kind of way too if people are that you think are your homeboys and is instead of saying I don't want to talk about that, you know what I mean. You don't have to say anything. You can just say, you know what, I got to talk to I got to talk to Kat about that before I can talk to you about any of that. Next question, please. Or
No, I know.
but people open their mouth and say some shit, and then
But
apparently he's
why
watching.
why is this I'm just curious. Why is this the first time we're hearing from Kat about all of this? Like
Yeah.
I'm sure he's done other podcasts. Why not just out that shit then? Why now? Why is 2024 any different?
Well, I think he did out some stuff on Larry King, but there's always a time and a place for everything.
Mm.
There's always a time and a place for everything. And I think what happened was all these people that he specifically talked about in that interview came up to that show
Oh, and
and
said
and
something.
said these things about him,
Mm.
and he don't even really fuck with these people
I'm gonna
like
have
that.
to watch Club Shay Shay then, cause
So that's
I
why he
didn't
came
know.
up there. He specifically said this is why he was coming up here because Rickey Smiley and Cedric the Entertainer and whoever else came up there. I think Steve Harvey had been on there as before as well. All these people have come up there. Shannon Sharp has asked questions, I guess, pertaining to the comedy business or around Katt Williams, and they've had something to say about it, and it wasn't in a positive light, and it was kind of cutting them down. And he was like, okay, and he probably wrote that down in his little Palm Pilot, this day before I watched the Grinch. Steve Harvey said this, and his head looked like Mr. Potato Head. Oh, and Cedric, oh, you walrus, you
Oh
up
my
here talking
god,
about
when he
it.
said that, I was just like,
You walrus, you up here talking too? Okay, I gotta wait for I can watch the Grinch. Because he didn't say nothing about Damon Wayans. He was on the show with Damon Wayans.
Bobby Shaw.
Yes, Bobby Shaw.
Whoa, Cecily's.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, I have to say it. I love Cat Williams. He's fucking
Yes.
hilarious. Dude is
He was
hilarious.
on Atlanta.
I don't remember him on
He was on
Atlanta.
Atlanta. He was. I don't know. We didn't watch the last season, but he was on the season that we watched. I think it was the second season or the first season. I don't remember
Yeah.
exactly, but he was the one where he had the alligator in the house.
Mm, don't
Oh, you don't
remember.
remember that episode
No.
where they had to go and he had a
No,
wild
I
alligator?
okay, so Atlanta real quick. I'm gonna hit on Atlanta real quick. Atlanta the first season was fucking great. The second season I was like, what the fuck?
Hmm.
And me, I love me some childish Gambino. Okay, I love him. Love his music.
Hmm.
I like him as an actor. Um but that second season for me was garbage. Like I couldn't. I sat through the whole thing, but I was just like,
Yeah.
this is a
Okay.
rough fucking watch. That's why that's why you and I have not watched season 3 because I struggled to watch season 2. Struggled. And I
So
like the characters, I like the
yeah.
actors, I love him. Like I love him. He's great. But I was just like, oh my god, is this shit over? That's how I felt.
So I heard in I don't know if it was in the rumor mills. I don't know if it's true or not. But the second season of Atlanta, Childish Gambino or Donald Glover
Yeah.
wasn't really into doing it.
Mm.
Like he was going through his own BS. You know what I mean? So his heart wasn't into it, and I believe that's why the season came because I think he's part of the writing group in it, and it just he wasn't wasn't it wasn't he wasn't
I hate when you got to do something and you just ain't in it and
yeah.
you give them like, you know
You
what?
give 50%. Here you go. I
And
wrote
yeah,
this.
just fucking take it at this point, just pay me my motherfucking
Yeah.
money.
So
Yeah.
on the last season, apparently he came back where
That's
he
rough.
was strong, like he was willing to do it, like
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was
yeah.
into it. But that's what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not. It could
Yeah.
be a load of horse
No, but
shit.
that's hard because I've had those instances where I have to give 100% and I can't. I ain't even got 20%.
Yeah.
And you getting 5 of that.
I got no percents to give.
So yeah, I can understand that. I
Yeah.
just for me it
Yeah.
was not worth the watch. I could not wait for that season to fucking be over. And when you told me season 3, I was like,
And I don't know if
man.
you noticed that season 3 took a while to come back out.
Well, yeah, but that was because fucking we've been through a 10, 20 year pandemic, you know?
No, no, no. It wasn't even that. It's they like the show. I think they were gonna cancel the show, and then it was that type of thing. It had nothing to do with
It
the
was flip
pandemic.
floppy.
Yeah,
They didn't know what they were going to do.
because the ratings wasn't there. But from what I understand was the show itself didn't do what was expected compared to season one, and that was partially because Donald Glover was kind of over it. I think he was just over. I think he was just over the entertainment
I would
celebrity
love for him to
lifestyle.
make more music. That's what I'd love
Yeah, he said
to
he's over
hear.
that too.
I'm sure this motherfucker is multi motherfucking talented. Like this dude he's a big talent,
Yeah.
and I can only imagine, how many things he has going on,
So
how many irons in the fire.
yeah,
Like,
first time I saw him, it was stand up, and it was I didn't even know who he was. Um, I was home. I came home late. You were asleep. I was eating. I put on some stand up. It said Donald Glover. I was like, I don't know who this dude is. I'm gonna play it, and if I don't like it within 5 minutes, and I'm on to the next thing, and it was hilarious.
yeah, he's funny. I'm telling you, this dude's got mad skills. Like
and
all through so many,
yeah,
and it's hard. I want to say it's hard to find a really skilled person. Aaliyah was one of those people. I'm a big fan of hers, will forever be a big fan of hers. She was a hell of a singer entertainer. She was acting and she was modeling. Like that's a triple threat right there.
yeah,
And he is the same thing. He can do comedy, he can write, he can, the motherfucker can sing and
yeah.
he can rap. So he's very talented. I love him. I would like
Yeah.
to see more of him. I don't like not seeing more of him, but I get it. You want to live your little crusty private life, motherfucker. Make me like you, and now I can't even. I gotta watch the same shit over and over. I gotta listen to the same shit. Oh, give me some new shit. I want some new shit. The fuck, Donald Glover. I'm
So
a fan.
so so yeah, he gonna see this and be like, "What the fuck?"
This whole psycho bitch.
um, but yeah, that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't want to spread false information, but yeah, that's kind of what I
Yeah.
heard. I didn't, and again, I didn't look into it too further. But circling back to the Katt Williams and Club Shay Shay, he came out guns a blazing.
Fuck yeah, he
Six
did,
shooters was
man.
shooting. They was smoking when he left.
Six shooters. Fuck.
He fired off from both hips.
Man.
Um,
And guns in the back. The guns in the back popped up and was like, yeah, he was just
and
out of
it's
every fucking angle. I was like, oh my God. And I sat there like, I sat there like this. Like, I was really shocked.
yeah,
I
it
was really
was.
shocked.
I
That
wasn't shocked, but I was. It
No,
was
I
scary to
was.
watch if you were Rickey
Well,
Smiley.
look, we didn't watch it when it first came out. We watched it yesterday, and it's been out for what, a week?
Yeah, it's been out
And
for a week.
all kinds of shit have been on the Shade Room, on Hollywood Unlocked,
Hmm.
TMZ, like all
Just the
these.
internet.
Yeah, the internet is just, reviewing it and re-reviewing it and reposting, and it's crazy, and then everybody's got their opinion about it.
Yeah,
So
and
that's why we're talking about it, because
yeah,
I wanted to see what the fuck it was about, and yeah, I
yeah,
got to see, and I was shocked.
and it's funny because a lot of other than the people that he talked trash about, a lot of people are saying, yeah, that's true.
Yes, that is the crazy part.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you. Ice Cube came out yesterday talking about that. Yeah, he's a lot of the shit that he was saying on there is
Yeah,
fucking true. And when he said that, because you gotta question it. Like, oh, how much is he talking? Like, how much of this that
is
what
this
he's
nigga
saying?
drunk or is he telling the truth?
Yeah, like, is it true? Is it not true? You don't know what to believe. And then, like me, I'm sure a lot of you have heard the rumors about him being on drugs, Katt Williams, and that he's crazy and all this and that, and you're drinking the Kool-Aid because it's one thing when one person says it, but you got all these other
Hmm.
people saying it,
Yeah,
so it has to be true, to some degree, right? And then you see it being posted up on news, whatever, he's being arrested, or he's another issue with law enforcement, whatever. So you tend to believe these things. So then when you got Ice Cube, who I feel is a very viable source because he ain't out there like that. I don't know about anybody else, but I love Ice Cube. He's one of my favorite rappers of all time. And to me, what he had to say was relevant. And, I believe him. And he said that almost all of it was 100% true.
yeah,
The only thing was the whole rapey scene
yeah.
that he doesn't do that. And
That's
he,
not
that wasn't a
part of
part of
his
the script.
bag. It wasn't part of the script, and
Yeah.
he doesn't believe
But
showing that type of thing on camera. And
other
even
than
them,
that, though, he basically said that, yeah. And he's talked about the gatekeepers and all of that shit.
yeah,
And,
all his
he's
career.
been as of late, because everybody wants to be vaccinated with that fucking COVID vax.
We can't
And
talk about that. We can't talk about that. They'll flag us for that. The gatekeepers. Yeah. Yeah, for real. I know the shocked look on your face, but yeah, they'll flag us for that.
but we ain't nobody, so why are you flagging us? All right, so people who, what do they call the jab? Can I say that?
You can say that. You
All
can say the
right,
jab.
so he was not jabbed, and he talked about how the gatekeepers aren't letting him do shit because he did not get the jab. And he talked about that on his Instagram, which he's another person who I find to be a private person. He doesn't put himself out there like that. Like he throws out little Instagram posts here and there, like him and his wife, they just had an anniversary, or like when him with him and his son. But
Yeah.
it's he's very low key and private.
Well, like I know he was taking on the NBA because he said that they were blocking the big three from getting these older players to come and play, and the big three season doesn't even conflict with the NBA season. This is something that they can do off season, not off NBA season. And yeah, he's been fighting that. I last I heard it was some kind of lawsuit that was going on with it, but I haven't kept up with the story.
Yeah. And then there's been things, but yeah, so I believe it. I believe what he's saying because Ice Cube came out and was like, he's pretty much telling you the truth,
Yeah, this is
which is
spot on.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I like I said, I feel like what Cat Williams was saying. I think he was very articulate. I think he was very accurate as far as what he was saying.
Yeah.
He looked the part. He did not look like he was intoxicated in any type of way.
I'm over here blown away over what you just said to me. I think that's total bullshit. What the fuck is that? Like, how do you know that
What?
about not being able to talk about that?
Yeah, because they will flag you because they're on that bullshit still.
Why though? Like nobody gives a fuck. It was a waste of time. Hold on, I gotta say this real quick. It was a waste of time to get. Okay, it
Uh-huh.
was a fucking waste of time. Almost everybody that I know that got it has issues now. Got issues. Hold on,
Hmm.
and and then everybody walking around with their little vax card. Sorry, with their little jab card. I gotta show you the jab card to come and eat, to go into stores, to be out. Like that's crazy. And now nobody gives a fuck. Nobody even wears a mask anymore. Nobody does any of that, but and they want to sit here and fucking do some shit to us on this motherfucking platform just because I said that.
So
Wow.
so let me tell you
Tell me,
why
please.
it is what it is, because no one wants to admit that they were wrong in that situation at all.
Oh
At all.
man.
And if they
Somebody asked me the other day, "Are you getting the booster?"
you can boost these nuts in your mouth. No.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, I just looked at him and was
Oh, that's gonna be
wow.
the next video meme. You could boost these nuts in your mouth. Oh
Yeah.
my god, but yeah. So Cat Williams destroyed the internet
He
in
did.
one
He
fell
really
swoop.
did. And everybody is loving it. Everybody is here for it. We're here for it.
Hey,
Like
makes for good content.
it does. He blasted the fuck out of them. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I wasn't even interested in what Cedric or Steve or anybody really had to say about what he said.
No.
I'm really not
I really
interested.
wasn't.
I don't watch Steve Harvey because I just don't. Not nothing against him. I don't know the man, of course,
I,
and I don't really care. Like I see him when I scroll through Instagram on Family Feud, somebody has posted that shit.
I tell
Other
you
than
this
that,
though. I tell you this with Steve Harvey. What I do want to find, if I can find it, if anybody has it, please post the link somewhere down below. I do want to see that battle that he said him and Steve had in, I guess it was Detroit or somewhere, and that's what made him stop doing comedy and took off his flat top hairpiece. And I do want to hear what Mark Curry has to say about Steve Harvey uh, taking the premise of his show and using it on his and Steve using it,
yeah,
because I used to watch Hanging with Mr. Cooper
me
and
too.
it was a funny show,
It was
and it's because everybody that was on there I knew uh, all the cast, so I enjoyed it.
Holly Robinson
Pete,
Pete.
yep.
Yeah,
What's her
loved her.
name? What's her name from different world? I want to call her Jaleesa.
That is Jaleesa.
Yeah, I couldn't think of her name. I can't think of her real
I
name,
don't
but
know her
that's
real name, but yeah,
yeah.
she was
She
Jaleesa.
was in, I'm gonna get you, sucker, dirty
She was
mother. Watch your
also
mouth.
in she played a small role, but it's one of my of I don't want to say favorite, but it was a great show. The Closer with
Mm.
Kira Sedgwick. She married what's his name from Police Academy. Ah,
Hightower.
no, not
It's
Hightower.
the only one I remember.
No.
And the
Um.
one with all the guns. I don't know remember his name, but
Oh
uh,
my God.
you don't know say.
I can't remember. I don't remember. He was the asshole, the one that everybody hated, and he was always after
Mahoney.
Mahoney. Yes, you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
He was
Move it, move
also
it, move it.
yes, him.
I don't
He
remember what
was
it is.
he was in The Closer. He was also in Mannequin. He was the security guard.
I don't
But
remember
yeah,
his
he
name.
was I don't remember
I want
his
to call
name.
him Proctor, but that's
He
not it.
was in The Closer. It was a TV show called The Closer. It ran for 10 years and then Major Crimes took over and that became another series. But she married him in the show. And yeah, I love seeing her. I love seeing a lot of people that I used to watch back then because
Still
I
doing it.
was obsessed with watching Different World. Um, Bill the Cosby Show was one of my favorites, and it came on right after that. Like, yeah,
I just like seeing some of the old celebrities that I used to watch.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Me too.
Still doing it. Still doing the craft. Still doing it. Um, so yeah. On that note, I think we'll close out the show for today.
No, I got one more thing
What you got?
to add.
What you got?
So, we went out to dinner the other night,
Uh huh.
and we were sitting there across from each other talking,
Mm-hmm.
and then this couple walked in,
Yeah.
and the girl sat down,
Mm-hmm.
and the dude sat down
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
next to her, and I looked at David, and I said, that to me, when a couple sits next to each other, is weird. It's weird when you're eating dinner, you're out to dinner, and you sit next to each
Side
other,
by side.
side by side. Like, if you're cat a corner from each other, that's cool. If you're across from each other, okay, yeah. But next to each other, like,
In a
I
booth.
gotta, in a booth, I gotta turn to see you. Like, I don't want to do all that. Like, I want to
Yeah.
look across. And to me, I find it weird
So do I.
when couples do that. So he made a comment like, well, because I pointed it out. And he made a comment was like, well, maybe they're waiting for people. I'm like, yeah, 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 because we do that. We'll do
Mm-hmm.
that. And but we're waiting for somebody and they come and that's what it is. Sometimes we do, sometimes that person sits next to me
Yeah.
and he's across from me. But no one came.
The ghost came.
They started eating. And I'm looking at them like,
Yeah.
the fuck is that?
I find it weirdo behavior.
If anybody that listens to us knows or does that, can you tell me why you do that? Because me myself, I find it strange. Um, I don't get why you would do that unless you have other people with you and you guys are, you're a couple and you sit next to each other and the other people on the other side, but it's just you two. Why are you guys sitting next to each other like that?
Side
Why
by
wouldn't
side.
you want to sit across from
Yeah.
each other? So I just find me myself again, I find it strange. I just don't see it as a normal thing to do. Enlighten me. Tell me why you do it because I want to know why.
Yeah.
But that's it. That was my thing about that. Like I just find it interesting and a little weird.
I find it weird too. And on that note, I guess we'll sign off for the day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Drop a comment.
Wish you
Like,
all the best for 2024. It
yes.
started out with a bang.
And we're back to our everyday schedule for those that who follow us, who watch us, who watch our content all the time. We're back. We're back, baby. We're back. Frank Costanza, we're back.
Can't stand ya. All right, peace.
Peace.